creative action of the Spirit. As we gain more confidence in our spirituality, we become more willing to improvise, not only in our spiritual practice, but in the way we live. We become willing to do the right thing and to let go of fear. We go from simply showing up and reporting for duty each day to a willingness to serve the greater good in the best way we can. We start by following suggestions and progress to doing the right things for the right reasons. We can stop there, but if we are willing to strive for more, we have the opportunity to exceed our greatest expectations for ourselves. Our experience settles a lot of our ambivalence about spirituality. We can just go ahead and have the relationship with our higher power without worrying so much about things we don't know or understand. Each time an experience reawakens us, we are more aware of the power nudging us to wake up to our lives. Great or small, our awakenings show in our willingness to practice the principles and carry the message. Service has much to teach us about our spirituality. It's how we show our love and gratitude, but it is also how we learn it. When we act together, we are greater than the sum of our parts, smarter than our decisions, and more powerful than we thought we are. The second tradition reminds us that a loving God guides our efforts in service, and we can see it clearly when our short-term setbacks or disagreements somehow don't interfere with carrying the message. We see a higher power working in NA and come to believe it can work in our lives too. A member shared, "When my home group has put off a decision because some of us aren't sure what to do, we usually make a better decision later. I learned to do this in my personal life. When I take time to pray, I make better decisions." Some see our service to NA as a training ground. It's where we can learn to practice principles of acceptance and mutual respect. It's not always gentle, but we share a common purpose and a common bond. And because in NA we are all equal and all learning, we are always both the student and the teacher. No matter how long we've been around NA, there always seems to be the opportunity to learn a little more about ourselves when we get involved. I did some of my early service just to fit in. Over time, I have developed a true desire to serve NA's service. Makes me feel good about me. I am useful, and I hope and pray each day for new members to join and help carry the message. It takes a long time for NA to grow. To stick with it, I have learned patience, hope, acceptance, love, and commitment. We can do so much in our world. Once we find recovery, our addiction no longer limits us. We are of value in and out of the fellowship. Today, I understand I am an instrument of my higher power's will. I have a choice whether I will play in tune, create a new song, or just make noise for its own sake. By adhering to spiritual principles, we are able to live, work, and accept situations in the real world, inside and outside NA. When we work the steps in order, we learn to apply them to our daily affairs. If we practice these principles, we never have to use again, and we can continually improve our ability to serve and to cope with what life brings. We admit our powerlessness, ask for help, admit our errors, work on our defects, make amends, and ask for continued guidance. As we apply these principles to our daily thoughts and actions, we enhance the quality of our lives. We begin to sort ourselves out with the steps as an ongoing part of our lives. Sharing ourselves, whether we are telling our story or reading our inventory, helps us bring order to the chaos. We experience deeper spiritual growth each time we embrace a step. Over and over we surrender, let go, and trust the process. Each time another door opens inside us. The gnawing hunger we felt inside is filled as we practice prayer, meditation, and service. As our defects release the chokehold they once had on us, we are freed to live fully. The narrow choices that once defined us give way, and we begin to dream, imagine, create, solve problems, or just seek joy in life itself. Our NA program provides a solid foundation. We can use that foundation to achieve anything, as long as it's centered in spiritual principles. We learn to trust the principles of NA to guide us in all our affairs. It is important to have conviction about what we do. We no longer change who we are to match who happens to be around. Because of this new sense of conviction, we have a clearer path to follow. Before NA, I was a coward and a follower. My spiritual awakening compels me to stand firm in my beliefs, offered a member. Resentment, fear, and arrogance cut us off from the ability to be spontaneous, creative, and free. We open that channel when we begin to take selfless, loving action. We learn to respect and love people without seeking approval. We become responsible members of our communities, taking what we learn in the meetings and practicing that in our lives. Service matters in the world. At different times, our past leads us to be of service to others, directly or indirectly. One of the most wonderful feelings we could know is that of being a part of humanity. When we practice spiritual principles, we experience awareness and empathy with others. Spirituality teaches us to feel human. After so many years of isolation, a feeling of well-being rises within us, assuring us that we are right where we're supposed to be. We put this way of life into practice with our families, people we work with, and all of our other relationships. We do the best we can each day. Sometimes we improve just a little bit. At other times we make big progress in practicing the principles. Or we really fall short. Our progress is not always steady, but we can see it happening over time. We learn to live our principles. We begin to say no when something isn't right for us, even if we might lose someone's approval in the process. We learn to take care of ourselves and our responsibilities, and not to blame others when things don't go our way. We start to see the opportunities for growth that are available to us on our best and worst days. Hope and freedom from active addiction come to us early and are given freely. This is what some of us call the pink cloud. We don't have to work for it, but there comes a time when there is no more just taking. This is a crossroads. Many of us stop here and never know what we have missed. We get the real rewards of recovery by giving back and giving forward, out of gratitude for what we have been given, and out of hope for what is to come. Being of loving service is living spiritually. First we take, then we give, then we share. Living fully is a creative expression of love for our higher power. To be fully alive, awake, and honest about who we are is a gift to us, from us. Our spiritual connection leads us forward into a new life of joy, wholeness, and endless learning. We discover within ourselves a passion for living. Our experience is transformed into tools for healing and keys to compassion. We find within ourselves a clarity and beauty we never suspected we had. In whatever way we experience conscious contact, a feeling of acceptance and relief from turmoil seems to come for all of us. The principles of Narcotics Anonymous are the tools we need to deal with whatever life brings. Seeking our higher power's will for us brings us ever closer to our own heart's desire, to feel loved, useful, and part of something greater than ourselves. The spiritual foundation we find in NA gives